Help Wanted 2 is coming, and this is the brand new gameplay trailer shown. So you know what, let's do a little analysis on this, shall we? So here we go. It appears we start off much like how the opening cutscene slideshow of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator begins, using many of the same slides as before, along with a few new images mixed in as well. Now, I find Hand Unit's dialogue quite interesting here. He claims that Fazbear Entertainment will be devoted to you. That's right. You. At this Fazbear location, you will have the freedom to go into any position you wish as you find yourself. He runs down a list of positions which include customer service, technical support, safety and security, game testing, test driving ride attractions, and a beauty stylist. So unlike the prequel game in Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted 2, you will find an extremely wide variety of unique games inside, each more different than the last. Before we run down the gameplay footage shown, there's one small thing I'd like to say. So unlike the prequel game, Help Wanted 2 is giving me a different vibe, as the first game was just a virtual reality video game in the FNAF universe. I'm sensing something along those lines, but a little different. So tell me what you think of this. I think that Help Wanted 2 is, yes, just another video game in the FNAF universe, but one that's not to go into market. What I'm thinking is the Help Wanted 2 is solely for Fazbear Entertainment testers. I believe blueprints, plans, attractions, and job positions were converted into a simulation where employees are intended to undergo advanced training. Now, what made me think of this? Well, I personally don't see Fazbear Entertainment having developed a video game for the marketplace, while throwing their business and BTS stuff into a game like this. For example, Hand Unit mentions you can play as if you were in a safety and security position. Why does each position he's mentioned oddly strike with quite literally a job position, unlike the first game, which were, you know, recreating the legend of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? Not just safety and security, but beauty stylists, technical support, everything else. I believe Help Wanted 2 is quite literally an advanced training simulation for Fazbear Entertainment personnel. Another piece of evidence is at the end of the trailer, where Hand Unit says, "Now accepting applications." Now, with that mini theory out of the way, let me know if you'd like a full detailed theory video on that topic in the future. But it's time to move on to more analysis, which in this case, we begin the gameplay analysis in an area called Fazerblast. This minigame has you in front of a crafted stage of a miniature model of the FNAF 1 office. You're equipped with a Fazerblaster. Your objective is to blast all the little balloons floating up. Throughout the gameplay, it appears that Chica and Bonnie are active and will appear in their respective hulls. Targets will also appear. Over on the left side of this station, you'll find a few familiar faces. Plush Baby, number 1 crate, Pirate's Cove, light up Freddy head, and a T-posing Dreadbear. Yep. A mother-flippin' T-posing Dreadbear. It appears that, while focusing on balloon popping, we'll have to defend ourselves from plushkin babies. Prepare to get classy. In Help Wanted 1's Curse of Dreadbear DLC, there is a game mode called Afraid of the Dark. Within this game mode, there is a minigame called Pirate Ride. I'm sure you're all familiar with Pirate Ride, so I shouldn't have to explain it, but basically, it's a roller coaster ride, with stops where you need to shoot balls at targets. It appears that Pirate Ride will be making a spectacular return in Help Wanted 2, judging by how popular it was in the prequel. So I'm pretty hyped about that. In any case, we get a sneak peek into the beginning of the new Pirate Ride. We appear to begin in what appears to be the inside of a pirate ship, likely the captain's den. Looking around the room, we have a pirate flag, a globe, fancy chairs, a huge table, treasure chests, big windows, and we have Foxy wearing his pirate gear, giving us the rundown on what colors equal what amount of points. And according to this trailer, the current high score is 11,350. Over on the left side of this room, we can see a shelf, but as far as we're allowed to see in the trailer, we are only able to see a few books and a crown on the shelf. Did you grow up playing the Papa Louie Flash game franchise? Well, if you have, this next minigame should be quite enticing for you. It appears that we're either serving staff bots, or we're preparing a tray of food for a staff bot to bring to a table. Now, this appears to be some sort of Chips minigame that takes place in Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. This simulation has you behind the line. In your workspace, you have an oven, a bell, a timer, and various trays of foods. The trailer shows the player grabbing the tray of nachos and placing it on the staff bot's tray. So it appears our job is to prepare the orders from the staff bots and cook food under a time limit, and send the food on the way out to its customer. Now, this next minigame, I unfortunately don't have too much to say over the matter, mostly because I don't understand what's going on. I do, however, understand that we're repairing a circuit board and pulling fuses in the dark for some reason. But yeah, all I can say is this does fall under the technical support category. Other than the repair feature, I did think of how this gameplay would work. So as you can see, we do appear to be wielding a flashlight. So speculation can gather this might hold a similar free roaming feature, similar to the Corn Maze minigame from Help Wanted 1's Halloween DLC. But in this case, we roam around, find these boxes, open the hatches, and repair, all while surviving while being hunted down by one of the most terrifying sights in FNAF history: Moon riding a carousel. But according to the trailer, much like the regular Moon, he still does not like the light, and your flashlight is your defense. Okay, now this next minigame gets a little freaky. We have a vibrating Helpy laying on an operation table, and we seem to place some sort of yellow mouth guard over his mouth, as if we're protecting ourselves from getting our fingers bit off. So down in the bottom right corner, there appears to be a cupcake plushie, and speaking of which, over by Helpy's helpless body, there's actually a visible Toy Chica plushie. Anyway, there appears to be a screen up here, which has a volume meter, a symbol of an unknown tool that appears to have been split in half, and an outline of Helpy's body. And if you look closely, you'd actually notice that it'll have a body part of Helpy's body glowing. So whatever you have complete will glow up. Helpy appears to have an anger meter. Make him angry and he'll, get rabies? The fuck? Over on the right side of the workstation, you will see a screen with Pizzeria Simulator-esque advertisements. This is a diagram of a spinning blade tool pointing at toilet paper, and can also have a pickle popcorn on the screen, I guess, as well as the cupcake bucket filled with candy and treats. On the left side of the workstation is your tool desk, if you can even call this crap tools. This does remind me of the Dreadbear minigame from the first game's DLC, but unlike last time, this version you'll be hunted down by someone, that someone being Scrap Baby. One of the tools shown in our hands is a scalpel, so for all I know, this could quite literally be a game of Operation on Helpy. Have you ever wanted to play blackjack, but got no friends to play with? Well, I feel ya. But fear not, because Steel Wool Studios has got your back. In their upcoming sequel to FNAF VR Help Wanted, your gambling addiction will be satisfied when you play a game of card matching with Glamrock Endoskeleton. From what I can tell, this takes place in the office in Security Breach's Glamrock Endoskeleton segment. The Glamrock Endoskeleton is wearing a virtual reality headset with many wires connected to it. From what I can tell, this is how this minigame works. You are playing against the Glamrock Endoskeleton, or the Glamrock Endoskeleton is simply the judge. Either way, you are to combine cards that it deems to have some sort of connection to each other, much like the Glamrock Endoskeleton training theory from Security Breach. The trailer shows the player matching a card of a giant cake and a card of a kid holding 2 spoons, and the Glamrock Endoskeleton gives the player the thumbs up. And speaking of which, if you're enjoying my analysis on the Help Wanted 2 gameplay trailer, why not leave a thumbs up of your own on the video? Thank you very much for your support. Back on track. This is more than just a memory game. It's survival. While memorizing the cards, you're equipped with a Fazcam. Use the Fazcam to keep away the other Glamrock Endoskeletons skulking around you. And worst of all, they're trying to steal your Moon plushie, the same Moon plushie you've worked so hard to get. Long hours of ball toss, 14 games of Bonnie Bowl, 2 minutes of stealing unsecured tickets from pockets, and 5 minutes in the photo booth. You've worked hard for this, and no one's gonna take it away from you. So don't let me down, huh? Getting another look at the new pirate ride, we can see some sort of rootin' tootin' establishment with cutouts of Cowboy Foxy and Glamrock Chica. These 2 cutouts were actually used in the Ruin DLC for Security Breach. Interesting to see them back, and funny enough, these 2 cutouts were together even back then, and looks like still today. Gameplay for the new pirate ride is basically the exact same, down to a T, even with the pirate helpies to switch lanes for alternate routes. Running on down to the Glamrock Beauty Salon, you can do Roxanne Wolf's makeup. In your workstation you have a makeup brush, a color palette, and a cup of water. This minigame is hinted to be titled Service to the Stars. The trailer shows the player color Roxanne's eyelids a light purple. However, speculation can gather you can accessorize Roxanne, judging by this orange bow in her hair. Not much is shown, but we do have this screen on the right. It appears to display a half black, half white circle, a Roxanne Wolf head, and a yellow progress bar. The mystery of the paper plate pals get revived in Help Wanted 2. Something I never would have ever thought to see in FNAF is being able to make your own paper plate pal. But now you can do just that. Your workstation has a bunch of tools, decorations, and accessories to apply to your custom paper plate pal. A timer, a screen, and a done button is also provided. This is kind of a creepy detail, but upon closer inspection to the mouth chosen for this paper plate, you'd notice that you can faintly see a teeth structure. Bonk-a-Bon, in my opinion, is one of the most annoying characters to deal with in a FNAF game. That's right, Balloon Boy levels of annoying. It will barely show up in the time limit that I have here. As reiterated, Bonk-a-Bon showed up 0 times. 0 times! It's still on the floor. And now it's in my face. Grab your revenge on Bonk-a-Bon in the Bonk-a-Bon minigame. Taking place in what looks like a Pizzaplex arcade room, in Bonk-a-Bon, you're equipped with 2 hammers in your hands, and your objective is to bonk all the bonbons on the head, and likely avoid hitting the helpies. Your time limit is on the left, and your score is on the right. This next one is a mystery to me. It appears to be the control desk of an arcade cabinet. The game is unknown, but we can tell that there are 3 rounds, 3 replays, 4 square buttons, knobs, and of course, the start button. The next section is very enticing. Our first look at a night system in Help Wanted 2. We have your average office, but what's really caught my interest is the camera and camera layout. We get a sight of one corridor, feels very Sister Location-esque. Meanwhile, the map layout feels very FNAF 1-esque. Part of the trailer shows Ballora visible in a camera, which the player proceeds to shut the door. In this next minigame, you play as your typical high school girl, Komaru Naegi, using your Megaphone blaster to blast bears. Wait, I think I got something wrong. So you think DJ Music Man was underutilized in Security Breach? Well, fret not, he'll be back once again in Help Wanted 2, in an all-new minigame that takes place on his stage. The Parts and Service game mode was one of the most popular game modes in the first game. From the looks of it, it is back. But this time, you get to see what makes the Glamrock animatronics tick. That's right, repairing Glamrock Freddy and the gang will now be a thing. It appears that honking the nose will yet again be another feature similar to Freddy's Parts and Service segment. This will be followed by an absolutely terrifying, jaw-breaking jump scare from Glamrock Freddy. No, literally, dude, this looks freaking terrifying. From the looks of it, the next step after this will be pressing this red button in the top left corner. This trailer ends off with an absolutely scary jump scare of Scrap Baby. And I absolutely love how they've attributed her scissor hands on her jump scare animation. That's a good example of using a design to their advantage while developing. The trailer ends with a release date of December 2023. No specific number displayed, but I do find it odd that the 202 part of 2023 disappears before the 3 fades off the screen. Meanwhile, having basically all of December present on the screen, looking something like this. So speculation can gather that Help Wanted 2 might release December 3rd, 2023. However, of course, take that with a grain of salt because this may just be a wild coincidence on how this release date's neon sign letters are animated. With all that in mind though, thank you all so very much for watching my Help Wanted 2 gameplay trailer analysis. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like rating on the video. Thank you so much for your support. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe and you'll be notified on all my new FNAF videos. With that in mind though, if you're interested in seeing some other FNAF videos I've done, click one of the videos you're seeing on your screen.